Hello and welcome back to Cooking for the Yum of It. Now, before I get started with today's episode, I need to let you know I'm planning to audition for a production of It's a Wonderful Life at the Chautauqua Playhouse here in Sacramento. If I get cast, I will have to go on a brief hiatus until the show is over. So cross fingers for I break a leg and all that. But now, let's get on with the episode. Today, I will be making Poulet au Pistou. Sorry, it took me a second to remember how to pronounce that. This is a French, Pistou is a French version of the more familiar pesto sauce, which is used in a lot of Italian cooking. The recipe is from the Provençal region of France, which is near Italy, so there's a lot of Italian influences in it. The only real difference between pesto and pistou is that the French variant does not include pine nuts, which I've been told some people have trouble with digesting. But I've never had a problem with it, so it doesn't really matter to me. Anyway, let's get started. Now, before we do anything else, we're going to preheat our oven to 400 degrees. Now, as we wait for the oven to preheat, we're going to make the pistou sauce. We start off with about 2 ounces of fresh basil. And oh, that smells so aromatic. I can tell right now this is going to be fantastic. Okay. Now our next ingredient, we're going to use some fresh parsley. It's a very nice flavor. Oh, very careful with the knife, by the way. You don't want to cut your finger off. Now, it's nearly as aromatic as the basil. So we're not going to need a whole lot of it. We're only going to need about 1/4 cup, loosely packed. That's about it right there. Okay, put that in there. Now, another vital ingredient is an entire tablespoon of minced garlic. Measuring spoon. I'm going to use a teaspoon of salt. Got my salt right here. Now we're going to take, I didn't know how much it would take to make a 1/4 cup of plum tomatoes, so I bought 2. If this is too many, I can make a nice tomato mayonnaise sandwich tomorrow. I don't know how many of you have ever had those. I grew up with those. Very good sandwich. Okay. One should be enough for a 1/4 cup, but we'll see in a second here. Okay. Actually, one is a little bit more than a 1/4 cup, but you know, I'm going to use all of the one whole plum tomato. That should be good. Give it some extra flavor. Now we're going to add a 1/4 cup Parmesan cheese, and we place the top and secure it to the food processor. We take out this part, because our next ingredient for the pistou is a 1/4 cup of olive oil. We're going to start with a 1/4 cup. If we need extra, we can add that. But as I've said with other ingredients in the past, you can always add more if you want it or need it, but it's impossible to subtract once you've added. So we'll start off with the 1/4 cup, and we're going to pour this in as the basil and the parsley and everything sort of purees together. I'm going to add the olive oil slowly, by the way. Sort of push the sides down into the mixture there, and we're going to puree it some more. Look. Oh, that looks fantastic. Let me take a little tiny little taste. Actually, I'm not going to stick my finger in there. I'm going to get a spoon. Take a tiny little bit. Oh, that is good. So now let's move on. Now that our pistou is done, we can move on with the other part, which is I'll take 4 boneless, skinless chicken breasts and put them in our foil-lined baking dish. Now we're going to take some of the pesto that we made and put some on each breast. Don't skimp. You can add as much of this as you want, and it's such a good sauce. I'm going to add plenty of it, but not too much. I don't want to overpower the rest of it. Now, as you can see, I have quite a bit of the pistou sauce left, but I'm not going to throw this away. I can save this and use it later with pasta, like pasta with like pesto. With regular pasta, you can use pistou too. Pistou. Now, we need to slice these tomatoes. Again, I didn't know how many I would need, so I made sure to get 2 of these. Now, when I was back in the, when I was much younger, and I worked at a Burger King, they had a special device for taking out the stem from the tomato. I wish I could find one of those. Remember what they were called, and I could search for it on Amazon. But we're going to take. My roommate got this knife on Amazon. It's a pretty cool knife. Let's slice these up. very carefully slice these up because I don't want to take off a finger. Okay, let's see what we can get with this. Now we're going to add, some tomato to each one. I'm only going to need to make one more slice on my second tomato. Just add my tomato here. Now we move on. Now we're going to cover this with mozzarella. Some more of the Italian influence. Should use about 2 cups, give or take. Okay. Now, I'm going to put this in the oven at 400 degrees for 40 minutes. I'll see you soon. It has now been 40 minutes, and I am going to take the chicken out of the oven. Oh, doesn't that look fantastic? God, if you could only be here to smell this, it is so good. Now let's get some chicken. Okay, this isn't going to work, so we'll get something else that does. Okay, and there we have it. Poulet à la Pistou. Let's go eat. My favorite part. Oh. It's quite delicious. Although I think the recipe has me cook it a little too long, so if I make this again next time and as delicious as it is, I'm definitely going to. Next time I'll only leave it in for about 35 minutes because it's a little it's a little drier than I like my chicken to be, but still quite delicious. The sauce is really fantastic. So anyway, that is my show for today. My poulet à la Pistou. Excuse me, poulet au Pistou, not the à la. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. Please like if you did. Subscribe down. Don't forget to subscribe and feel free to comment down below. And I will let you all know as soon as possible whether or not I actually did get cast in the Chautauqua Theater production of It's a Wonderful Life. Until next time, eat and enjoy.